We have a conversation lined up for you, Ashwini Vaishnaw, the IT and Telecom Minister, in conversation with my colleague.
Be using their state-of-the-art system called Semiverse to train 60,000 engineers in India. So this is a significant milestone for the semiconductor industry. It's a nascent industry, it's a new industry. So this big achievement which has happened during Prime Minister's state visit to US will set the foundation for growth of this industry.
How is it going to help India become a manufacturing hub for chips and semiconductors? Will it be a Maruti Suzuki movement for India when the automobile player came and then the whole ecosystem got developed, the ancillary industries got developed? Is that the Maruti Suzuki movement for India as well?
Absolutely the right example that you have used. Thank you for that. Getting the first unit is the most important. Once the first unit comes, there are about 250 odd different gas, chemical, supply chain, logistics, that entire ecosystem is there. 250 different units which have to come to make sure that the semiconductor unit becomes successful. So with this first unit, that entire ecosystem gets developed in India. And that is what helps develop the entire industry. So we are very hopeful that once this unit starts its work, and they have done very good progress. By now, land allocation is complete. The construction designs are done. The construction agency will be shortlisted very soon. So very hopeful that within first 6 quarters from the date of announcement, Micron should be able to start their production. That's the target that they are taking. They are moving very fast on this. So with that, we are very hopeful that at least 2 or 3 other major semiconductor companies should be looking at India as their destination.
So there were SOPs announced and some attraction is there. Will there be more SOPs in future? Is it a possibility to attract more and more companies to India?
See, we have to look at the semiconductor industry from its total perspective. The industry, which is globally today at about $650 billion, is going to grow to $1 trillion in the coming 6-7 years. That's the growth which is happening in the semiconductor industry. Second, talent which will be required. Almost 1 million more talent will be required in semiconductor industry. Third, the cost structure. Fourth, complete comprehensive ecosystem development. All the big 4 factors, the growth, the availability of talent, the focus on developing the entire ecosystem, and the cost structure. All the 4 points give us very important advantage to India. So we are very well placed. Then the demand, local demand, domestic demand, that is growing significantly, because our electronics industry, which was practically negligible 10 years ago, is today, it has crossed $100 billion landmark production, right? Our mobile manufacturing units have become mature now. We have become a very big exporter. Close to $10 billion exports happened in the last financial year. So all these factors today place India in a very big advantageous position. That is what will propel the industry in a very big way.
So from India, there's Vedanta Foxconn, they applied and they are, what's the status over there? What is the latest development over there as far as the companies and its application for the semiconductor manufacturing is concerned?
So as you are aware, our entire semiconductor mission, this is being driven by some of the best professionals in the world. People who have had 30, 35 years of semiconductor experience in the world, who are well known, who have run industries. They are the people who are driving this entire semiconductor mission on technical and financial viability aspects. So throughout this process of semiconductor mission progress, we have adapted, we have changed we have modified our program as per the inputs from world's best experts. We have had a very open mind, very consultative approach, very fair and transparent approach we have followed. With the modifications that have happened in the program, we have requested the earlier applicants to revise their applications, and if they would like to submit it as per the modified norms, they can resubmit their applications. So once they resubmit their applications, we will be able to complete the evaluation process.
So according to you, how successful has been PM Modi's U.S. trip when it comes to attracting investments, getting investments to India and making India a manufacturing base for electronics, semiconductors, IT? How successful has been the trip so far?
hugely successful. Prime Minister Modi ji's state visit to US has opened up a totally new chapter in our high-tech industries, in our defense industry, in space collaboration, in telecom industry, where we are co-creating technologies. See, the paradigm is shifting, paradigm is changing. The earlier paradigm was technology transfer. Now the paradigm is co-creation, co-development, jointly developing technologies. That's a very fundamental change. This is a change which basically moves away from dependence to partnership, alliance to partnership of equals. That's the fundamental change which has happened. Look at telecom. India's telecom stack has been evaluated by the US government and their agencies, and basis that, as a part of the ISET, which Honorable Prime Minister has announced during this visit, it has been very further strengthened. Part of that, India and US will be co-developing, jointly developing the next big technology called the Open RAN. See the change in the mindset in this. See the change in the equation. See the change in the balance which has come out. That's a very, very important change.
So can you give us an estimate after this Micron coming, AMD coming, what kind of ecosystem will be developed? How big will the industry become as far as the overall industry in terms of investment, jobs, any data there or any numbers there?
The example that you gave of Maruti Suzuki, that's a good example. First unit comes, it settles down, it creates that ecosystem, makes sure that all the the supporting manufacturers, they have their base here. Once that develops, this industry has huge potential. As I said earlier, industry is growing from $650 billion to $1 trillion. That's the growth which is happening in this industry. So significant part of that growth will happen in India.
And what are the lessons learned from past for semiconductor future of India?
Semiconductor has been a dream for last many decades. Finally, under Prime Minister Modi ji's leadership, this big success has happened. This was tried out by so many other governments in the past. What we have learnt is we have to be flexible. This is a high-tech industry. This has to be driven by people who understand the industry very well, professionals who understand the industry very well. We have to make sure that the ecosystem comes in place. We have to make sure that the talent which is required for this industry is developed simultaneously. All these have been very important lessons learned and very important inputs in our program.
So telecom manufacturing, handset manufacturing has been a success story so far. Apple is increasing its production from India every year. What's there in latest in telecom, and as far as the development is concerned, what's latest over there? You spoke about ORAN. What's there as well?
Telecom ecosystem comprises 4 major parts. The entire software piece, second the telecom gear, the stuff which goes onto the network, onto the telecom towers, all those radio equipment, very complex, very sophisticated equipment. Third is the entire carrier infrastructure, for example, the way spectrum is auctioned, all that stuff. Fourth is, of course, the handsets. We have made very good progress in handsets, and we are looking at, the industry is maturing, the component manufacturing ecosystem is getting developed now. There are, I can say with good level of confidence, that some of the components which go into handset manufacturing, India will become a major base of manufacturing those components and exporting to the world. That's the kind of very steady progress that we are making in the handset industry. Simultaneously, the network gear, the routers and the radios which go into telecom industry, those sophisticated equipment have also started getting manufactured and designed in India, and by now there are at least 2 companies which are exporting to US. That's the progress which have happened in telecom manufacturing. In fact, one of the industry leaders said that in his 30 years of 3 decades of experience in telecom, he never imagined that India will become a manufacturing base for telecom in India. That has happened. That has happened under Prime Minister Modi ji's leadership.
And to ask something which has been grabbing headlines over the last few days and weeks, that is about Elon Musk and PM Modi's meet and Tesla attempting to come to India, making a plan to come to India. It's a half technology, half automobile company. What do you think those kind of things will give a boost to India's technology future? And what about the overall meeting between, the positive meeting as it's being said between Elon Musk and PM Modi?
Tesla has been one of those great inventing companies, one of those companies which changes the entire paradigm in automobile industry. Their focus on EV, their innovation, those things are really valued all over the world. So I'm so happy that Mr. Musk has decided to visit India and make sure that they can develop their supply chain also in India. So this will be a very important milestone, and this visit and the meeting between Mr. Musk and Prime Minister Modi ji, that will set the roadmap for developing Tesla's EV industry in India.